To some people, a motorcycle is work, or a way to get to work, or a way to get away from it all to the solitude of the open country. A motorcycle is whatever you want to make it. Turn it on, you can give yourself a real thrill.
A motorcycle is whatever you want to make it. Turn it on and give yourself a real thrill, is a line from one of my favorite movies of all time, On Any Sunday. For Brandon and Brittany Herron, motorcycles are a way to hit the reset button and go on an adventure. They chose the CSC RX4 for its mid-size weight and handling, but its big size adventure capability as they embark on their epic 48-state adventure ride. I was very fortunate to have a conversation with Brandon and Brittany when they stopped by the service department here on their new 2021 RX4s. How's it going, guys? Joey Dugan here from CSC Motorcycles, and today we have two special visitors visiting us. We have Brandon and Brittany Herron, and they're actually on their brand new 2021 RX4s, and they're actually going to do some special stuff with them. If you guys don't mind letting us know what you guys have planned on your RX4s.
We're basically going to hit all 48 states. We're going to go visit every state of the United States and probably even Hawaii. The intention is not necessarily to see all the landmarks, but to take these bikes through all the states, see how they handle everything. You know, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whether it's rough terrain, soft terrain. Just kind of an adventure. Take an adventure bike on an adventure. You know?
Oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah. And this is actually not your first RX4, huh?
No, this is the second one for me. Her first. I had the orange, the tangerine. Before this, loved that bike. I had 8 motorcycles at the time. Bought that bike thinking that's my first adventure bike, we'll try it. And spent more time riding that one for the first month I had it than any other bike I owned. And finally got her to try it. It's an intimidator. She's like, oh, it's big, it's huge, I can't ride that thing. But once she got on and got going, she's like, this is easy, I got this, I want one. So when we decided to take our trip, I said, well, let's sell my bike off. Let's get 2 brand new ones, so we both have the same maintenance schedule, the same mileage, the same warranty and everything. We're just, start fresh and go. So she picked the yellow, I picked the blue, and the rest is history.
All right. So what are your riding impressions of the RX4, Brittany?
I really like it. I haven't had any issues. I started with a 250
Suzuki Gixxer.
Yeah. And I really liked that bike, and this one is just as agile. It goes faster, obviously. And I don't know, I was intimidated with the luggage and the weight and everything else, and it doesn't feel like it's any different once it starts going. So I haven't had any issues or anything like that with it, so.
Awesome.
I really like it.
So why did you guys finally decide to use the RX4 in your 48 state adventure?
Originally, it wasn't going to be my first choice. I had a Husqvarna that I liked, and it carried luggage really well. It was lightweight, agile. I thought this is a bike I want to take around. And like I said, when I bought the first RX4, my impression originally was like, wow, this is a smooth bike. I know a lot of people get down on them because they're made in China. So that was my first bet. Well, how reliable is it going to be? As I rode it for the first month and found parts weren't falling off, it was sturdy, it was smooth, the engine I didn't have any jerky issues with it. I ruled out like half of my fleet. I was like, I thought I wouldn't take these bikes because they're not comfortable in corners. They don't hauling luggage and stuff, when we put the weight, they didn't handle it. This bike seems to handle the weight. It handles anything you throw at it. We go through corners. We've gone up the one on the RX4, and that road gets really twisty, really turvy. And if the bike is not a good bike, it's not a stable bike, it's not a balanced bike, you're going to notice as soon as you hit those corners, you're going to be slowing down, takes away the enjoyment. At any point that we've done this, we've never had an issue, either me or her, on that bike saying, hey, it can't corner, it can't pass, it can't do anything. So when you look at it, it's the overall value of the bike, the fact that what I'm paying for that bike was half of what I would pay for any other bike. It came with a luggage, it came with a warranty. You guys give top-notch service. Anytime I've needed something, you're right there. I told her I felt more confident on this bike if we were stuck somewhere like Wyoming and I needed a part overnight. that you guys would take care of me quicker than anybody else I've dealt with. I've dealt with Kawasaki, Honda, Suzuki for years. I know how it goes when it comes to repair. Get it to me, I'll see what I can do. 2 weeks later, you're still waiting. So knowing that you guys were going to be standing right behind your product was probably 75% of the reason. The other 25 was the bike performs just as good as anything else on the road.
All right. You know, actually, this is a common thing because of the price of the motorcycles. You're able to actually afford two of them for either his and hers. We've had a lot of father and sons too buy two motorcycles as well, just really sheerly based on the price, where you can actually afford more than just one motorcycle.
We did, because I had the RX4. And we looked at getting her like a V-Strom. Our local dealer in our town, the only thing he sold was Suzuki and Kawasaki. We looked at the V-Strom, we looked at the Versys, and he wanted like 10 grand for one of those with no luggage, nothing on it, no specials, no nothing. And so I finally got her up on my bike. I said, try it, see if you like it. And she's like, oh yeah, I got this, no problem, I like this bike. So I was like, let's get two of those for the same price you're wanting to pay for this one. And that was one of the huge reasons why we went toward this bike. And this, like I said, with the service and the warranty and everything behind it, it was like there was no reason not to make that purchase instead.
How fast have you guys got the RX4 going to?
I've gotten it probably up to 90, 92 on the interstate. At the time, I still had a lot more weight on it than I was still fairly new with the interstate travel. So I didn't want to go any faster than that, but I didn't feel I never felt unsafe with it going that fast. So I know it'll go faster, I should say. I just still new, so I wasn't quite keen on let's see how fast it'll go kind of thing.
And you had the 2020 RX4 model. So what improvements do you see on the 2021?
I actually have a friend who also has the 2020 model, and he lived in Florida, and he would complain about the clutch being a little soft here and there. He got his fixed. You guys have seen some parts fix it. When I got mine, I never had that issue for about the first, probably about the first month I had it. Then I started getting that soft clutch and the throttle, and it was just basically the engine breaking in. On this bike, I've noticed we're already up over 1,000 miles, and the throttle's still just as tight as it was the day I got it. The ECU seems to be much smoother when it comes to changing gears. You're not over revving and under revving the way it was previously. There's the TFT dash for me was like the #1 selling point. The only complaint, if anybody ever asked me what was your #1 complaint about the RX4 before this bike, it was the fact that you couldn't see the turn signals on that dashboard. You had to look down at the signal to see if it was still on. It's like, did I turn it off? No, I didn't, because it's not flashing. On this bike, you don't have that problem. It's not there. All the information the dashboard's giving you about your tire pressure, about the heat of the tires, about the engine temperature gauge is way more accurate. The fuel gauge is way more accurate. Tracking your mileage and how much miles per gallon you're using, your highest speed, your average speed. Those are all things, if you're going to plan a long trip, you want to know. And to me, that was a huge selling point. The overall of the bike, if you can get your hands on a 2020 RX4, man, do that. There is no reason whatsoever that bike is bad just because it's not the newest model. Are there improvements? Of course there's improvements. The suspension's a little bit tighter. The throttle's a little bit tighter. Not enough for you to say, oh, that bike's crap compared to this one. I like my 2020. Orange is my favorite color, so giving up an orange bike to go to this one says a lot about the bike. But at the same time, if I didn't have a choice, I'd buy the orange one in a second. The old 2020s are just as good as the 21s. The improvements are there, but not to this range that you say, oh, let's just forget the old bikes and go with the new ones. But yeah, I mean, I found nothing on this bike yet that's I could say I could complain about, and I only had a couple complaints about the old one. So overall, that to me, that's a compliment in itself.
All right. So when are you guys planning on ending your trip? Are you guys going to keep on going until you can't go no more, or is there a slated end to it?
It's up in the air right now. The goal is to do the 48 states, and when we get there, if we've got a lot of interest and a lot of people saying, hey, you should go here and you should do that, we'd like to see footage of this, or maybe like to see this bike in this particular place, it's more inspiration for us to keep going. Once we get to the end of 48 states, we've seen everything we want to see, we're not going to stop riding. We just may shift what we're riding to do. So right now we don't have a necessarily end date in place. We know for the next couple of months that's what we're going to do, is be out on the road, seeing everything the country's got to offer, especially on these bikes. And so yeah, the end date's really not, there's no decimal says this is when we stop, but you never know.
All right. Is there any way that people can follow you guys, what you guys are doing?
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. It's called B&B Life Reset. We have a Facebook page with the same name. We have a Twitter account with the same name. Our content's kind of low at the moment because we've been filming and spent the last couple of weeks coming over here. But now that everything's going, we've got a lot of footage we're going through right now. We'll have some videos up soon, and we actually reach out on Twitter to anybody that asks questions, on YouTube same way, Facebook. Anybody's got suggestions where they want us to go or places they think we should see, oh, we're 100% behind that. Send us, send us your restaurants and your secret places. That's where we want to go. And we intend to do some drawings and gifts and giveaways and autographed pictures and things like that of places that we go over the time if people are interested. So yeah, sure, follow us.
All right. Now you can follow Brandon and Brittany on social media at Bree and B Life Reset. Now, what are you doing on your CSC motorcycle and where has it taken you? Please share and let us know. And as always, thanks for watching and ride safe.